So in this video, we're going to be taking a look at everybody's favorite character in the Berserk series, Isidro! Well, it's not really about Isidro, it's about this cool little dagger that he has and carries around. And sure, he's not as skilled and efficient with daggers like somebody like Thorfinn. Actually, could you imagine if Thorfinn had salamander daggers? Holy shit, that would be a force to be reckoned with. But no, instead we have Isidro. And I know that I've talked a lot of smack about Isidro over the years, but to be honest, maybe it's just my own insecurities. That I too am a short, juvenile ginger kid who likes to throw rocks and may or may not be totally fine hooking up with a marrow on some faraway island someday. Perhaps Isidro is me, and perhaps I am Isidro. The two of us share this common bond of never being like the ones that we idolize, but still we try and put forth the effort each and every day. That at some point there will be a reward for our efforts, and maybe we will find a place amongst the stars with those that we care about and appreciate us. Anyway, if you'd like to see more of my constant existential crisis, consider subscribing to the Real Life Ryan channel. I would really like to get up to 75k subscribers by the end of the year, if that's possible, so every little bit of support helps. I would really appreciate it. You'll get consistent Berserk, manga, anime, movie, and mental breakdown content uploaded straight to your YouTube feed on a near daily basis, so what's not to lose? Go ahead and subscribe, and I'll be sure not to burn you with my fiery ginger blade. So the Salamander Dagger was first introduced in chapter 203 alongside several other enchanted weapons. Shurike calls them magic fetishes, and I have some magic fetishes of my own, but that's a story for another video. Anyway, Berserk was reaching a point where the enemies Guts and his crew would be facing were getting increasingly powerful and more inhuman. As the astral world and humanity's fears manifested were slowly filtering into the physical world, the threat of trolls, ogres, and more were becoming ever more present. So it was time to give the characters some upgrades in terms of their weapons. Now, I've already done a video on Serpico's Sylph Sword, so if you want to check that out, check the playlist of the Monster Manual videos, or I'll put a link down below in the description. But for the character of Isidro, he received the Salamander Dagger. And no, it's not a dagger made from salamanders, well, at least not the kind of salamanders you would immediately think of. Salamanders in the Berserk universe are what is known as fire elementals. These are small, almost invisible astral creatures that work alongside the natural elements of the world. There are elementals for earth, wind, water, and fire. Each grouping can be swayed and manipulated to help you take charge of those elements and use them for different purposes. Much like how magic works in the Berserk universe, where you enter a state of meditation to let your spirit traverse the astral world, find an elemental spirit, and borrow their power temporarily to move the elements, which can reach a level that could cause tidal waves or giant flaming wheels. The elementals are kind of what is used to move said element. Think of it as giving the element itself a push in the right direction that you want it to go. The elementals themselves are more or less neutral in design, and it depends on the user how they are manipulated. The salamanders are elementals for fire, and basically do look like little lizard salamanders, all sort of swimming and swirling amongst each other. And their placement in the dagger is exactly as it sounds. The dagger itself has a normal hilt with an image of a triangle before the blade. Triangles have also been used as an actual symbol for fire, the three angles of the triangle representing heat, fuel, and oxygen. And then the blade itself is forged from lava, the elementals themselves keeping the lava within the shape and form of a blade, which is really interesting for one because it technically kind of means the blade is made of rock, and also that the blade is constantly at about 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit. Sorry, I'm using Fahrenheit, I'm an ignorant American, but you guys can do the conversion in your mind. Imagine just accidentally touching the tip of this blade with your fingers. Yeah. Also, I don't know if I would trust that hilt guard for your hands. However, elementals are known to attune to their user and protect them, so it could be that with the adaptation of using them, they would be protective to their wielder, but I'm not really sure or to what extent it would be. Also, the use of the elementals is dependent on one's faith and belief in their abilities, so you literally have to trust within your weapon to get it to work as perfectly and precisely as you want it to. When talking about the dagger in particular, it is a good weapon to utilize for a shorter fighter like Isidro because it doesn't have a heavy weight and you can wield it pretty quickly. However, as Isidro found out during his battles, the lack of reach that it had was still a deterrent when he was up against taller opponents, and this is where the harsh realization for him comes into play that he cannot be like Guts. He doesn't have the size or strength to be a Dragon Slayer wielding madman. But what he can do is work within his own style and benefits, and that means Isidro becoming a dual wielder, using the sword given to him by Morgan for long-range attacks and to close the distance, and then coming in with the killing strike using the blazing hot dagger. And over time, this combo has become super effective and has given Isidro his own specific style of fighting in the manga. Combating against a Salamander dagger would just be a testament to avoidance. Like any other blade, you just wouldn't want it to touch you. And if it did touch you, you get the added bonus of not only a cut, but the raging heat of lava. So knock that shit out of his hand or just be really quick and avoid it. Overall, I think the Salamander dagger is a good weapon and definitely works for Isidro's character. It would be cool to see more weapons that are similar to it, like if you could forge an actual sword or an axe from these elementals as well. And Isidro has really come into his own over the years. My gripes with him don't have anything to do with his weapon or his fighting style, so I'll leave this video on a positive note and talk about my favorite Isidro moment. When Isma jumps in and transforms into a Marrow for the first time and saves Isidro and then jumps back up on the ship, everyone on the boat, the entire crew, sees her fishtail and they're like, what the fuck, what's going on? And Isidro immediately defends her like, yeah, my girlfriend's a fish, what up, wanna fight about it? I don't know, it's just great. It's one of my favorite Isidro moments, and that's just the kind of support that you need in your life. Good on you, Isidro. Oh, also, I really love the moment in the orgy cave where he says, put that thing away, you horny goat. It's the same thing I have to say to myself every morning. Anyways, guys, if you like this video, please drop a like down below. I would really appreciate it. Also, comment all your thoughts and concerns about the Salamander dagger. Would you use it? Would you try to wield it? What do you think about it? Put all that down below. And as always, guys, thank you for the support. Subscribe to the channel if you would. Try to get me to 75K by the end of the year. Also, in the link below in the description, you'll see where you can follow me on various social medias, as long as the Patreon and the merch store if you want to support the channel on that extra level. Other than that, guys, I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you next time.